Well, welcome everybody, and I wanted to take the opportunity today to talk you through the business plan that we have been developing over the course of the last probably 6 months or so now. And as I discussed in January, February time, I think it's really important that I take some time to talk you through the shape of our plan, some of the amazing objectives we've got in the plan for this year, and also hopefully to give you a feeling for how our organisation works in terms of all the individual teams who feed in to make what is an amazing organisation actually function. And importantly, from my perspective, it gives us a lot of comfort that across the board, all the teams in the group have a really important part to play and contribute to providing absolutely first-class services. And the business plan that we're going to have a look at now really tries to bring all of that together in one document that will help us articulate what we are here for and why it is so fundamentally important that we get it right this year. And as we start to look at it, I think it is important to start by looking at ourselves very briefly. And if we take a step back and say, who is Link? The honest truth of it is we are all Link. Every day we come to work, every single one of us who come into this organisation, we contribute in a personal way to the success of the organisation. And we're a people business, that's the truth of it. I think that's amazing because it means that every time we talk to a customer, every time we talk to a colleague, every time we have a new idea that changes how we work and what we can achieve, it has a massive impact on the people and the communities that we are here to serve. And I think that's incredible, and that's certainly one of the big reasons why I love being in our sector so much. And if you put onto that some of the context in terms of the scale we're now working at, as the second largest RSL in Scotland, as an organisation that looks after the homes of probably more than 10,000 people now across Scotland, it brings a massive responsibility on us to constantly challenge ourselves to be as good as we can be. Because it has a real impact on people's lives, and that's great, but we need to be as good as we can be to really live up to the scale that we're now operating at. And as we do that, and as we're successful in that, so we come across from just being a big organisation to being a true leader in developing sustainable communities, and that is the heart of what we're here to do. It's to support our communities, it's to make them resilient, and it's to help people in those communities have fantastic and productive lives. And I think we can do that, and it's a big challenge, but I think it's something we're already doing really well. And as we talk about it, as we develop our services and our service model, I think we can be even better. And that's a big part of what this year is really all about. What we have taken the opportunity to do this year for the first time is to bring together two different parts of the business. We've had a huge focus on sustainability. Last year, we had a fantastic working group set up with colleagues across the group from all the different partners involved with that, talking about what we wanted sustainability to be for us, what should it mean. We had group support from a board level, again across all the partners in the group, to collect as much information and as many ideas as we could together. So we had the sustainability work running, and then we had our business planning work running, and we could see for the first time a completely direct alignment. And so for the first time, we don't have a business plan anymore, we have a business sustainability plan. And that's more than about words. It's about the fact that as we deliver on our business model, so sustainability is at the core of that. And if we get that right, that will flow through to sustainability of our communities that we work in. So we've deliberately designed it now with sustainability front and centre of our business model. And what we will also commit to do is continue to have the customer at the heart of everything we do. Customer engagement will be a massive theme this year in terms of how do we talk to our customers, how do we get their feedback and their input into our service model design across all of our services. And I think if we get these two right and we keep them in balance, proper sustainability of the organisation and the communities, proper customer engagement and feedback, you've got a fantastic blend in terms of how you can trust that the services you provide mean something to people and are as good as they need to be. And this business sustainability plan is a strategic direction. It's setting us on a journey, and a key point for me is it is a journey. There isn't a defined end point. We won't know that we have got there. This will continue to evolve and build with us over years to come, hopefully, as we continue to get better, as we continue to adapt, as we continue to innovate the services. But I think it's a brilliant journey, and I think it's a fantastic time to just take stock of where we are and what we want to achieve this year. What we've also done this year, reflecting that discussion around sustainability, is we've taken the opportunity to refine our vision for the organisation. I think we do a lot of this already in terms of thought leadership, in terms of community leadership, and for the first time we're going to make that a targeted vision that we will lead the development of sustainable communities across Scotland. And if you ask me what does it means addressing inequalities. It means caring for people. It means looking after ourselves and our staff so that we support our colleagues as we go through the journey. It means being better about how we manage our impact on the environment. It means all of these things in a very clear, very precise articulation of what the vision for this organisation actually is. And you'll be familiar now with the way that we've begun to design the structure of the business to operationally fit that overarching vision. And so we have our supporting people and communities divisions, we have our building success division, and we have our corporate wellbeing division. And it's not an accident that all of these align perfectly with that vision of being a truly sustainable leading organisation. But as importantly for me, around the whole of our business are the values that we stand for. This is not what we do, this is how we do it. And these are incredibly important for me, that we keep the work within those values. And I talk about this with people the whole time in terms of what I want to see demonstrated as behaviours in the office, what I want to see demonstrated as the way we engage with our tenants, with our service users. Because for all the work we do, if we do it in a way that people don't value, we will never get that true sustainable community feeling the way we're aiming for. So we have a great vision, we have a great divisional structure set up to deliver on it, and I personally think we've got an incredible values framework and to work within. And these are beginning to come together now in a really clear way that means we can be confident that the services we provide are a fantastic quality. And what we've also done as part of the work with the sustainability group in particular is we have made sure we have a very clear alignment all the way through from the divisional working teams through what sustainability means to us and how we are going to force it into the middle of our business so it drives everything we do. But more than that, the sustainability working group have mapped through a series of wellbeing goals that the organisation will take on and action plans around those. We link into the Scottish Government's National Performance Framework, which is their articulation of what sustainability should mean for Scotland, and further on into the United Nations sustainability goals. So what should the world be aiming for in terms of sustainability? And we can see now very clearly, if we work and we deliver on our targets, how does that impact Scotland? How does that then filter up into the United Nations view of life? And it's not too big a task for us. This is something we need to do. It's something we need to have that absolutely clear focus on why we are doing this work so that it keeps us going and it keeps us confident. So I think that mapping's been brilliant, and I think the work that's been done around that sets us on a really, really clear path to be able to deliver sustainable objectives across all of our teams, irrespective of which ones you are working in. And this, for me, is probably one of the most important parts now, which is, it is clear when we make that mapping journey that every single team in this organisation, be it one of the partner RSLs, be it a commercial services team, be it one of the internal teams who supports our colleagues from a corporate governance or corporate services perspective, every single piece of work feeds up right to the top of our business plan. So what I hope is that as you have got your divisional plans, as you look at your own personal plans for what you want to achieve this year, you can now see that the impact you have every single day that you come in and you work feeds up to the success of the group. And the important thing for me is we're all in this together. So one of these parts can't fail and everything else be okay. We all need to succeed, and we all need to support each other to succeed as a consequence if we are going to really make that big impact at a top level and if we're going to see that performance coming through. And I think it's fantastic because incredible range of experience across the group, an incredible range of services, incredible range of geographies we work in. it gives us an enormous resilience to shock events. And if you look at the pandemic and how that affected us, like a lot of organisations, we had to adapt the services, but we did an amazing job. And all the way through last year, in some of the most unimaginably difficult situations, we kept going, and the services kept going. And the tenants who needed us, we were there for them. So success comes now very clearly if we all work together on the partnership basis we've been building for so long. And hopefully this will help you have confidence as you look at your own work, as you look at your own objectives, to see how they really matter across the whole of the organisation. I'll touch briefly now just on some of the divisional objectives to give you a feeling for the big strategic objectives we've got. So if we start with People and Communities Division, so Sarah now in charge of that, some really important pieces of work in this division this year. The community strategy that will anchor the whole of this division together will come together. It will be fully consulted on. We're going to take feedback from across the teams on exactly what we want that to look and feel like. The Housing of Heart strategy, well established already, but a big opportunity for us to say, right, what have we learned from the pandemic in terms of what should housing services of the future look like? Do we want to go back to the way it was pre-pandemic, or can we learn something valuable and positive from what was a very difficult experience to take forward and evolve our housing services further? So we will look at that, and we will deliberately look at, can we learn and take the bits that we enjoyed and the bits that we were able to provide productively from the pandemic into our business model for the future. And probably the most important one to me, how do we collaborate more? How does information transfer across the organisation, in and out of the organisation, to take the skills that we know we've got and really embed them across those services, as is performance reporting, not in a dry sense of listing out reports, but what should we be looking at to make sure we're doing the right thing? So if we're going to live the principle of a sustainable community, what is it that will tell us that we are creating sustainable communities? And it's quite a difficult challenge, this, but we need to challenge ourselves to make sure that we test the right things and we're able to evolve it further. So some fantastic, really, really interesting pieces of work to come through the Communities Division this year. Building Success, Colin Kilross's division, another really interesting piece of work this year. We'll look at how we bring together all the commercial parts of the group, get that team together, and a formal commercial strategy put around the side of it. Fundamental to that, we will continue to develop new homes across Scotland. The Scottish Government have been very clear about their desire for 100,000 new homes over the next 10 years. We are a key partner with the Scottish Government for that. We will always be involved with supporting new homes as they come through and as people across Scotland need them. And at its heart, in that commercial division, will be first-class service provision. So customer-focused service provision, exactly the same as the Communities Division, led by the customers and provided in a way that provides that first-class experience from both the service perspective, but also the cultural perspective. Back to the values. How do we work? How do we take complicated commercial businesses and deliver them with a values and culture-based approach? So again, incredibly interesting time coming up next year within the Commercial Services Division and the Building Success Division. And Corporate Wellbeing with Neil, again, if you look at some of these objectives, enormous in their own right, huge cross-cutting impact across the organisation. We've got people strategies, training, development, how do we look after our staff? We've got the requirements for solvency and viability, work through the finance team in terms of some of the financial metrics, and with Ken, massive focus on the digital strategy. It's kept us going all of last year, the strength of that team, and getting us all mobile. And again, I know Ken's got some amazing views on what he wants to do with that. And first-class governance and assurance, the safety net, the thing that will keep us safe and make sure that we continue to perform in the right framework, in the right way. So again, 3 divisions, all of them with amazing objectives, and the impact we can have if we can bring those together and work collectively will be absolutely extraordinary this year. Around the side of that, we have the wider goals. So how are we going to really live and breathe the impact on our environment. A huge challenge across the piece for housing associations. How do we start the journey to net zero? How do we get fuel poverty addressed at the same time? Where is our asset management strategy going to have to evolve and adapt to meet some of these challenges? Big long-term challenges, and we need specialist resource in to help us on that journey. But this is kind of pillar 4 really, because it wraps around the side of all of the other divisions as well, because everyone will need to contribute to this. You cannot do sustainability in one place, it's too important. In March, the Weslow tenants voted with over 97% of the people who voted in the tenant ballot to join Link. Absolutely brilliant, huge endorsement of us as an organisation and all the work you've put in over the years, that people want to be part of this. They can see the benefit of being part of this. So in March, the tenant ballot was completed, absolutely delighted with that. And through April and May in particular, we just go through some of the legal processes now in terms of making that transfer a reality. But we also continue with a lot of the hard work that I know a lot of you are involved with across the group in terms of the integration planning. So how are these teams going to come together? How are we going to adapt both our working practices and their working practices to have a seamless joined up service, so that on the 1st of June, when they arrive with us, we can welcome them in and they can begin to see some of the benefits, hopefully, of working as part of Link. And that will take, I suspect, a number of years, in actual fact, for us to fully integrate these two businesses. Both businesses are large in their own right, great heritage, and certainly the first 9 months or so will be a period of significant integration as those new colleagues join us. And I've had the luxury of meeting a lot of them now, and they're fantastic. They share exactly the same culture, exactly the same values as we do, and that's always been very, very important to me as part of the discussions we've been having with Weslow and the team now. And if you look back at it, what an incredible year we could have. Amazing objectives across the piece in all the different divisions. And if we look at what we're trying to do, if you read that cold, it sounds like a really big task and a really big challenge. But if you then break it down and you see where we are already and some of the objectives we will be able to deliver this year, I think if we work together, I think if we keep that partnership ethos and keep looking after ourselves, looking after your colleagues, we'll definitely get there. We will definitely get through this year, and it will be stronger and it will be better than it is now. And that's starting from a really high point. So I think there's a great opportunity for us this year to take this business plan and really make it come to life. And I hope that, as I've talked it through, it's given you a feeling for how you individually can also play a really, really big part this year in delivering as well. Because, as I said right at the beginning, we're all in this together. We are Link, every single one of us. And I think if we perform as I know we can, this year could be quite incredible.